beautiful country.
Here we go.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angels and demons and monsters and serpents. This is Brothers of the Serpent Podcast, and we are coming to you not live from the 10 by 10 by 10 tangent cube of science, where we are nestled amongst the dusty bones of an ancient seabed high atop the Edwards Plateau. So, we had lots of fun comments on our stuff about Artemis.
The Genius Artemis episode, where we totally knew what was going on.
Yeah, people were like, guys, normally you kind of know what you're talking about. This is true. I actually came prepared to talk about transient lunar phenomena. I did not read anything about the Artemis mission except for what I was watching on the live stream. So I didn't know the history or anything like that. So
me either.
So after being scolded, rightfully
Totally
so.
deserved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we deserved it.
Hey, I didn't even know we were going to talk about that. So
Yeah, I mean, well, I told you we were going to do moon stuff, right? But yeah, but then I get in here, I'm like, so transient lunar phenomenon. I was
Yeah,
like,
but it was
wait,
like-
where
it was
did
like
they get
that-
the rockets?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that day.
I don't know.
To me, it was just like, oh, we're going to the moon today. And I'm like, when did this happen? Clearly, I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. But you did some reading on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been like, everybody knows. Why am I telling you people this?
Right.
You all know it's been in a long time plan. They did do test missions, unmanned.
Yeah. It was first, the Artemis plan was first, basically put down in 2017 or something, and they've
Yeah.
been working on it since then. Yeah. It was a lot of shuttle tech involved. I mean, the booster rockets are basically, so we're sorry.
But the the moon base that we had talked about, which was like, this is great. They'll come off the moon. They'll go to the moon base. Like, they've scrapped that whole plan now.
They scrapped the
moon base on the actual moon is what they're going to focus on. They're not going to build like a space station
The lunar-
in lunar orbit.
Yes, I think they should still do that, but right, you're right. For
whatever reason, I was looking at the
I was
timeline.
talking about where they're going to land, and people were like, they're going to go for the poles,
going to
which
the poles.
is
Yep.
exactly right, which is what I was saying. Like, then you have access to sunlight and darkness whenever you want, right? Permanent darkness, permanent sunlight for power and all that kind of stuff. It's great.
It just, this whole thing reminds me
And
of
ice.
of Jason. Our buddy, he's in the Discord. He's come on multiple tours.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was telling me, it's like, one of the things I love about y'all's podcast is that you'll do a news story where you'll like start reading a news story, and then y'all discuss like what it could all possibly mean. And then when you read the end of the news story, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then like everything we said was wrong about it. We're like, oh, never mind about all
we're
that.
just like, we'll do it live.
That was the epitome of
Yeah.
classic Snake Bros.
And that's
conjecture
true.
on things
Like,
we know nothing about.
I was thinking like
Right.
the moon stuff is great. I want to talk about like
The transient
lunar phenomena, so I didn't do any reading on Artemis, which I should have beforehand. But yeah, like
And it wouldn't be as funny.
that's true. That's true. It wouldn't be as funny.
You'd be way too serious. You did that.
Yeah. And apparently, so they did see flashes on the night side.
I didn't pay attention.
So I left the live stream up basically all the way up until they came back out of the shadow and made contact, and then we closed it down. We watched the splashdown, which was cool, and them getting them out. It was like a flawless mission. Like basically, that it was amazing. Like all the way through, they did multiple experiments on long-term equipment and stuff like that. I don't know all the details, but I did see where they're like, okay, we're going to put on this gear, all these suits, and we're going to test them out, and then they were running like long-term tests on, and I don't know the details of the experiments, but they were checking effects of passing through Van Allen belts and higher radiation areas and all this kind of stuff. So I thought that was cool.
You can't.
I know. This is the other thing.
Pass through Van Allen belts.
When we did that show, this is why I started out with like, we're going back to the moon or we're finally going to the moon after lying about going to the moon, or we're still not going to the moon and it's all fake.
Yeah.
Or the moon itself is fake and none of this is real because space isn't real.
Yeah.
And we got every single one of those comments on the show,
Nice.
plus somebody telling me that they're really tired of us believing in globe Earth.
Okay, cool.
And like the guy
Good.
was like, I love you guys, but listen. You gotta look into flat Earth. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I am
Gotta love that.
I'm like basically all in on globe Earth. I'm sorry. I know. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. But I do believe the Earth is a sphere.
Based.
My wife says I'm an idiot. It's obviously flat.
That's great.
Also, there were some questions about, because we were sort of like discussing possible, future space station ideas, and I was talking about this tether, the elevator.
Yeah.
I did not mean to imply, I don't think I did, but I didn't mean to imply that this would go all the way to the moon. That would not work.
No, you didn't imply that.
This would basically reach from some equatorial region of the Earth, preferably over a large ocean, up to just outside of geosynchronous orbit, which is around 22,000 miles-ish above the Earth's surface. Not anywhere near the moon. But this would provide a fast way to, and not fast, it could take days depending on the speed.
I mean, seriously, people. Like, seriously?
Can we tether the moon
Look, I
to the
understand
Earth?
flat earthers out there, but moon tethered to Earth, no, that's unacceptable.
You have to speed it up.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Look, it was just a misunderstanding. Don't be too hard on people.
Hey, look, they gotta give us shit, so I gotta give them
That's
shit
true.
too.
Yeah. Everybody who thought
fair.
that was an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that idea has been around a long, and I saw people saying this, like this space elevator idea has been around a long time. It has, but we're getting closer to being able to actually do it in terms of material science. The main holdup has been material science. We don't have anything that can handle that kind of tension on basically what would be a 20,000 mile long cable.
Yeah.
What material? You can't make it out of carbon steel. It has to be something special.
You need Spidey technologies.
You need spider technology. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nanotubes, carbon nanotubes. Probably could do it. The problem is we can't mass produce enough of them at a rate now where we can make one, but we're getting there. And eventually we'll be able to make this thing. And then the problem of getting into Earth orbit will basically be solved in terms of energy. We won't have to build gigantic chemical rockets. That was the amazing thing.
What about balloons? Heiser, whatever his name is. He took a balloon to space. Yeah. Baumgartner.
He was in the Baumgartner, yeah. He was in the upper atmosphere.
He was in space.
Balloons won't go to space.
It's close enough. From there, okay, massive balloon city at the upper atmosphere, and then you build a big platform on top of the balloons.
You could.
And then from there, so you got two stages. You got to get to Balloon City first. Then from there, you fly into space.
Space blimps. Look, I don't know. We're
making it worse. We should just move on.
No, it's fine. I think that you're basically trying to do two things with your rocket. One is get out of the atmosphere. The other one is get into orbital speed.
Yeah.
This is fast.
Of course.
Right? So once you're out of the atmosphere, how do you keep yourself from coming back down?
You have to be.
You have to do like in Hitchhiker's Guide. You have to master the art of falling, but missing the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Which means you're moving really fast.
Yeah. So you're constantly going this way while you're also falling.
Yeah.
And when the ground is below you, but you're going this way, you keep missing it. So you're like, oh,
because globe Earth. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you can do that around flat Earth.
Maybe
maybe you can orbit the outside of the disk. I don't know. But those two things you're doing. So this takes a lot of delta V, like a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you see rockets take off and they almost immediately start angling. They're going in some, you know, like the people like the moon's over there, the rocket went that way. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Anyway, all of it was entertaining. I was I don't know, I was just super proud of the entire process, the team, just I don't know. It was a giant white pill for me. It just like fuck yeah, space. You know, let's go. So
let's go.
I'm sorry we didn't know enough about Artemis when we first. Kyle's like, where'd they get the rockets? I don't know, dude. There's weird colors on the moon sometimes.
I love you. You were like, well, it's very NASA. It's brown with the two boosters.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, okay, maybe it is NASA's technology.
Yeah, but also
could have been the paint.
I was going to say, notice how you start out with this multi-story, gigantic, massive machine, and what comes back is just the tip of the top of it. Splashes
all of that
down.
other stuff is fuel.
Yeah, everything like you have this massive contraption that basically fires this tiny bullet to the moon. And the other thing that people were saying is like, well, how come, like, if we went to the moon before, how come they're saying like, oh, these guys have gone the farthest anybody's ever gone? Because their orbit of the moon was way out there.
Yeah.
The other Apollo missions orbited very close to the moon, where this one was a distant orbit. So
I love the diagram too that showed it's like the moon is coming around and they send the spaceship out here.
You've got to, right. You have to, yeah.
So cool.
You can't aim at it.
No.
You have to just try to be there when it arrives. Yeah. Be in the right place when it arrives. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like catching a baseball, you know, like it's coming. You don't run towards, you go that way.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So I loved all that. Just the whole thing was fantastic. And then hopefully Artemis III in next year.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
I really didn't follow it. I mean, I could see all the texts in the group threads and links and everything, and I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't watch. I watched one, which was just a basic. It was a basic layout of the entire plan, the whole massive plan.
Okay, I didn't watch that one.
It was good. Yeah. That's how I was like, oh, they got rid of space moon base.
Right. The lunar orbital base is what they're getting rid of. Yeah. But they are going to try to put one. I still think you need an orbital base, but you need an orbital station. Would be, but maybe you land on the moon first and then you build one. I don't know. It's a lot easier to get stuff off the moon and into moon orbit than get stuff off Earth and into moon orbit. So maybe that's what they're doing, what they're going with. Yeah,
it's gonna be cool, and they will be next to cliffs. Like they're gonna be next to deadly cliffs, which is you have to. If you're gonna set up pods, on a foreign, like on an alien
you need to be
body,
right next to a mile drop off.
You have to be in a very dangerous place.
Of course.
So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. So for this show, we have we're gonna do some Egypt recap. Basically, we did the tours are. Most of the time you hit the same spots, but every tour we do a few things differently than we did every other time. So we get to see new stuff. And we did see a few new things this time. One was Tell Al-Roba. And we are going to show some video, a little bit of video, I think. And then also Kyle's going to discuss, there's some amazing stuff in the Sinai that we were looking at. But first, let's look at Tell Al-Roba. This site is enormous, and we had never been there. And Ben was basically trying to get, he wanted to get out there because there's this enormous naos, this gigantic stone box, one of the upright ones that looks sort of like a shrine, like the famous one that's on Elephantine Island. But the one out here, and you can see it in the video if you're looking, we're kind of down in a place where they were digging up some temple parts, but way off in the distance, you see this massive single piece granite box on the horizon there. And the point of this video is to just sort of try to give you the scale. Now here in the next video, we're closer to it, and I'm walking down into the depression. I guess this was an archaeological
This is
dig,
an excavation.
right? Yeah, so they excavated, and there was multiple levels of tiling out of limestone. There was clearly some kind of structure here, and almost all of it's gone.
So again, I mean, it's Tell Al-Roba,
Yeah.
right? It's a tell nearby, and the tell is just basically all these. It's a rise in the Nile Delta, and the whole hill is the city. It's buried in midden materials and Nile sediments and
isn't it like several hundred acres? It's like
I think it's like 200 or 300 acres. Or
yeah,
something
it's
like that.
a
I can't
massive site, and barely any work has been done on it. But here you can see the scale of the box. So, and it's it's enormous, and it's up on this pedestal. So we couldn't actually get up to it. You can walk up to the bottom of the pedestal, but it seems like there was either a structure here or there were multiple levels of tiling, and the box is way up high above where you can stand. So I don't know what this originally would have looked like, but it's also broken, and we were told that it fell. And this was strange too. I'd like to get more details on this. Like, it fell a few years ago and broke even more than it was already broken. And then they put it back up there and put it back together. So it's in multiple pieces, but it was originally a single piece, gigantic. I think it was like 7 to 8 meters tall.
I can't remember.
So it is a massive artifact. And indications are, based on the amount of granite pieces that are sort of lying around and that are also still buried in the material around this place, that there may have been 4 of them in total. So this is just 100% mysterious, like what the purpose of this was, what they were here for, how old they are. None of this is really known, and it's just absolutely amazing. So we did get to go see this before the tour started this year. And as we walked around the site, that again, it's hundreds of acres, so we couldn't see everything. We spent maybe 3 hours there, something like that.
Yeah,
walking around, and there are just boxes buried in the sediments, pieces of columns sticking out of the ground, and you can just tell that like there's just not been a lot of work done there. So it was really amazing to see. I did not expect. I mean, we were talking about how this box is going to be massive, but walking up to it, you're just like, holy shit! What is this thing for? What is the purpose of this?
this is another
Absolutely amazing.
This was another interesting thing that we found at Tell Al-Roba.
Oh yeah,
These lithics, which are exactly like the lithic types we find at Göbekli Tepe.
that's right.
In the Taj Tepeler. Now, I was looking for these we're looking for these all over Egypt, basically. This is part of what Adam and I are calling the Lithics project. So the presentation I did at the Explorers Club was about this. Really, it's about the fact that in the literature, it's known that the Taj Tepeler civilization extends at least into the Faiyum. I mean, into the Sinai desert, and the what is the name of the arrowhead? The Helwan Point.
Helwan, yeah.
The Helwan Point is Helwan, which is right in Cairo.
Yeah, named
right near
after
the Giza Plateau, named after where it was first identified, and also it's found in the Faiyum. So we were looking for these, but these were like 3 pieces. We had talked to the archaeologist there, and he was picking them up and handing them to me from the
From out of the midden? Yeah.
the midden in the Tell Al-Roba. So
Yeah. There were also piles of rubble there that had pieces of probably of hardstone vases.
yes,
Right?
oh yeah,
We found chunks of
100%
material.
They were hardstone vases. I
Yeah.
mean, there were vases, bowls.
Yeah, and we found a lot of the same materials that are normally associated with the old pyramid sites.
The pyramid builders, yeah.
Yeah.
So early dynastic period, or
older than that. Yeah, the basalt, the white calcite.
basalt with the saw cuts and everything.
Yeah.
Just like the pavement in front of the Great Pyramid, white calcite.
Yeah,
conglomerate quartzite.
the conglomerate quartzite, the pink granite, the multiple types of limestone, including the Tura, the really high quality stuff.
Yeah. So this go ahead.
It's interesting because you go to a whole bunch of sites in Egypt, the temples, some of the pyramid sites or whatever, and you don't find all of those materials, but you do find them specifically at Abu Sir, Abu Ghurab. You find them on the Giza Plateau associated with the three main pyramids there.
You want a beer?
Sure, I'll have a beer. Yeah. So it's interesting to find and Yusuf always points it out, when we're finding all of these stone types, it probably means we're looking at something that goes back to this ancient building time, whenever that was.
Yeah. So this is another thing that we keep going over and over, especially with the guests on the tours, is that every single one of these sites has many layers. And we've talked about this all the time, even down to where we look for arrowheads around here. A lot of times you find a homestead there that was a couple of 100 years old or something.
Yeah.
We tend to build and live and choose the same places to occupy. So every time you come to a big city, an ancient city in Egypt, it's not just the last layer that was sometime in the 19th dynasty or whatever. There's everything before that, right? The 19th dynasty was there because the 18th was there, or the 14th, or whatever.
Right.
And they dug it up and rebuilt stuff.
Yeah, and the 10th was there, and the 3rd.
Yeah, and when you get down to the lowest levels, the pre-dynastic people, whoever they were, was there. And another point that I really like that Adam Young points out is, what was this whole unification about? The first dynasty was a unification of what? Of who?
Yeah. Upper and Lower Egypt is what they say.
Egypt,
yeah.
But in other words, they were already a civilization. So
exactly.
We talk about pre-dynastic Egypt as though it's like before the Egyptian civilization, but they had to have something to unite.
To unify, yeah.
To unify. So I love that point, and it is suggesting clearly, obviously, there was the civilization continues to go back.
Yeah.
And then where I'm sort of pushing it is, well, maybe, and I talked to Yusuf a lot about this, like the Nakata culture, back to the pre-pottery Neolithic, if they were there in the Nile Delta and the Nile Valley, they might have all seen themselves as the same people.
Yeah.
The pre-dynastic people right before the first unification could have considered these people their ancestors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you look at the way the dynastic Egyptian civilization sort of has these rises and falls in their abilities and in the quality of their works and the quality of their architecture, it could be the same for like the pre-pottery Neolithic. Like you have these people who are now they're back to making just their subsistence living with flint arrowheads as their main thing. But they had a point in the past, maybe hundreds of years, maybe 1,000, where they were much better architects. They had better engineering. They had better tools.
Yeah. I think the intermediate periods, the ones between the Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and New Kingdom, those two are quite long.
Yeah.
And I think that those are basically when like it sort of fell apart, the unification.
Yeah.
And then it comes back. Some king shows up and is like, "Oh, I'm going to unify everything," basically by conquering everybody again. Yeah. And he's like, "Okay, now we're one. We're one people again, or one." And then you have now we're in the Middle Kingdom, and it's the beginning of those dynasties, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's another intermediate period, which is basically it's non-unified, and then it comes back together again with the.
And is it true that the times where it sort of is not unified or between, what do they call it? Between the dynastic periods,
the intermediate
periods is like chaos.
Yes, it's supposed
they lose
to be chaotic.
Technology. Yes. There's war, famine, whatever.
Yeah, things fall into ruin,
and sometimes this can be caused by famine or some disaster.
Yep.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers. Oh, whoops. Got to be more gentle with my beer opening in the studio here.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Snake Force. Yeah, so I think that this is this is the case. And it's like all of the layers are difficult to learn to look through because you don't just have those ancient ones. Then it goes into the Ptolemaic period, and then after that, and then you have leading all the way up to modern times. There's all this layering.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're looking at, and people are like, well, what is that up there on the side? And like, that's Ministry of Antiquities work that they did 50 years ago or whatever, So it's, who knows? It's tough to learn to look through all the layers.
But you spend enough time there and you're with people like Yusuf from the beginning. Mm-hmm. He's been there his whole life. He points it out, the first trip, and then you start to check it. You're like, oh yeah, that. You start to see it. And you get you're looking at it with these eyes after going so many times, and it's like that's why you're always seeing stuff like new things. Yeah, you apply one principle, and then it's like, oh yeah, I've seen this dozens of times, but I never noticed.
Yeah, he loves to point out, especially around the Giza Plateau, how look, here's this series of bollards or something, or these posts that hold the chains that keep you from going. He's like, they built these 10 years ago, they're already falling apart, and they're right next to this gigantic stone triangle. How many thousands of years old? It's like, it's clearly like, here's what we can do in modern times, and here's what the ancestors did. Right. It's amazing. So do you want to keep going on the lithics?
No, it's just
I just want to just real quick in the Great Pyramid. I have this thing in the Queen's Chamber.
Let's go through your videos.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping around. I just making me think of stuff.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Where are your videos? Oh no, they vanished. Oh, here they are. Oh, they're still playing.
Oh, it's just continuing to go. Okay, yeah.
Let me stop this. Okay. All right, Grand Gallery. Queen's Chamber.
Queen's Chamber, yeah. Just real quick, I wanted to show this. The last couple of times we've gone, I've spent a lot of time in the Queen's Chamber because I'm interested in the these shafts that are in here, obviously, that don't go to the outside. So I spent a lot of time in there talking to people about it. But look at the floor. That's what this video is showing, is the different these sockets in the floor tiles. So let me see if I can move this around a bit. Uh-oh. What did I
Click
do?
it. Click the window.
No, I screwed it up. Yeah.
There you go.
So let
This towards you.
me back up here. Let me back this up. You can see this one here. Can you just hit pause? Just hit the space bar there. Yeah. So this one here, this is near the doorway. Uh-oh, now it's not responding. Okay, I have to play it. I guess I have to control it. There we go. That's really weird looking. Okay, I'll just pause it here. That one. So you can see it actually comes, the entrance is to the upper right there, and this sort of comes down in angles. There's an angle with almost like what looks like a circle at the point of the angle. But all I want to show is that we usually see this in these ancient sites in the floor tiling when there were structures on top of the tiles. So there's plenty of places we've gone where you can just see foundation tiles, and in the foundation tiles are a series of sockets that look a little strange until you realize, oh, this is where they had a wall or some other structure.
Or just more floor tiles.
Could be more floor tiles.
Like, for example, this one could have a alabaster floor.
Right.
Something.
It could have had alabaster or calcite.
That's weird. It won't scroll when it's paused.
It's strange. So there's another socket right there in that corner. You can see. So like Kyle's saying, another possibility is that they had another level of tiles on top of these tiles, which we've also seen plenty of cases of that. They will work the bedrock, but in this case, because we're in the Queen's Chamber, the bottom level would be the limestone core masonry. But I don't think that's what this is.
The reason I think that there was another level of stones on this, or that the finished floor was at probably this much higher, is because
foot and a half, something
in
like
the tunnel, approaching the Queen's Chamber, right before you get to the Queen's Chamber, there's a step down.
Yeah, I wish I
The
had a video
ceiling
of that.
of the
I don't.
tunnel stays the same height.
That's right.
But the floor steps down. And so if that floor had continued at the same level, it would make sense that the tunnel doesn't change its height, and then it would raise this whole floor. And there's a niche, the famous niche in the Queen's Chamber that's the sort of corbelled niche in the wall.
I think that comes up in
the
video.
bottom of the niche is much taller than the successive ones above it. So if it had another foot of stone under it, it would be symmetrical.
Right.
So I think that's a good argument, but I don't know. I mean, who would have stolen the floor?
Right.
What was the floor made out of that Al-Mamun stole?
Right.
Like he really just needed that floor.
Right. It could have been,
Al-Mamun took it out of there and had...
I mean, alabaster was highly prized. It could have been, if it was really high quality, translucent.
Golly.
Or maybe it was made of amber.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
Or it was mercury.
Yeah.
But something that was too big, like the blocks were too big to get out of the descending passageway.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So and this is not a strong argument, but I'd say one argument against that is that we don't see any sign of these tiles on the wall blocks. If there was another series of blocks in here that lifted the floor another 1.5 feet or 2 feet, we should see some sign of it on the bottom row of wall blocks.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So this part of the video, I've paused it here just to show, like you can see multiple levels. You can see back there near the wall, it sort of steps up. And then there is like a kind of a line going across the left side of the screen there. I don't know if that is one, if that is an actual socket. But here, you see this? Like you can see there's a socket there and it comes up. Well, so that is repair. Where that guy is walking right there, that is a repair work because those are actually new blocks. You can see it right there. I'm pretty sure that's a repair because that's the bottom of the niche that Kyle was talking about, the corbelled niche that's in here. And somebody did a lot of digging into that thing looking for they say it was people hunting for treasure. They dug into the back of it thinking there was a secret door.
Okay.
They dug down below there.
Here's the possibility. All of that stone that was dug behind the niche is gone.
Yeah.
Meaning the antiquities department or somebody probably in modern times removed all the rubble.
Yeah.
Which could have meant the floor was busted up because in multiple pyramids, when you get into a chamber, in ancient times, they busted through the floors.
Yes.
Looking for
secret chambers below.
Secret chambers underneath.
Yeah.
So they may have destroyed the original tiles thinking that maybe one of them was a doorway.
Yep.
And the antiquities department removed it along with all that other rubble.
That could be it. Yeah. Still, I wonder why we don't see, whoops, or move to a different video there. I wonder why we don't see hints of it on the walls. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. The floor of the Queen's Chamber there. Really, really strange.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is strange. Want to check this one out? This is cool too.
Grand Gallery, yeah. This is just a good video of the Grand Gallery. I'm basically walking up. I started the video about midway. And I'm telling you, like every time we go into the Great Pyramid, this is the room that blows my mind the most. Like the King's Chamber is amazing, right? It is absolutely amazing. And the Queen's Chamber is very interesting because of the shafts. But every time I step into the Grand Gallery out of the ascending passage, I'm just like, oh my God, how did they do this? How did they do this? And it looks really rough. Like there's a lot of damage in here. You can see damage to lots of the corbelling. And it's difficult to tell how much of it is natural and how much of it has been done by later people.
Interesting how the last two courses at the bottom are not corbelled.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's strange.
It is weird.
Every other course is
But then look,
corbelled.
all the damage to the walls. You know, there's so much damage, and then some of it goes up pretty high.
Yeah.
And then there's the great step at the end. You have to climb this to get up to the level of the
King's Chamber.
The antechamber tunnel, yeah, that goes into the King's Chamber. And then I turn around and look back down. Just look at this. And it messes with your sense of, like, it gives you vertigo. when you're standing in here. Like every time I come in and I start climbing up and you're kind of looking up at the far end where the King's Chamber is. And because all the lines are going up there and your brain starts telling you, actually, this is flat. And so you start leaning backwards. Yeah, it's telling you it's level when it's definitely not level. So here I'm looking back down and it looks level. But this is a steep angle. And it's just
treacherously steep. It's
without the rails and the sort of half stairway they've built in there, it would be very difficult.
It would be dangerous.
Very dangerous. You would be sliding back down. You'd be in serious danger of that. But yeah, again, look at all the damage.
The thing that's so awesome about this to me is that the core masonry of the pyramid is level.
Yeah.
But this chamber, all of the masonry is at the angle of the chamber.
All the masonry is tilted
so
at the same.
So the blocks are at this angle. So they're laying blocks like this.
Yes.
As they go up. And corbelling it in at the same time and putting the ceiling blocks in. I mean, can you imagine working on that slope?
There's a gigantic structure in here that is tilted at an extreme angle to the...
And so then there's to
the rest of the core masonry.
Did we talk about this? I talked about this on the tour, but it occurred to me that the great void above the Grand Gallery that the Scam Pyramids project has found may purely be the interface between the level core masonry and this gigantic tilted structure.
It could be that they've built a gigantic chamber for this to be in.
Yes. Yeah. And so the core masonry itself is corbelled over this.
Yeah. Could be.
And so there's another big void above this, also tilted.
Which would mean just like they did with the King's Chamber, it's like a freestanding structure.
It's a freestanding structure
They built a gigantic chamber within the pyramid to house...
like the relieving chambers above
to house the entire King's Chamber structure, including the relieving chambers. So inside the Great Pyramid is a limestone chamber that holds the entire King's Chamber granite structure within it. So it's basically freestanding. So it's possible, I think, that the Grand Gallery also has one of those, but it would be way bigger. It would be enormous. And yes, that might result in a large void above it. But the shafts that penetrate through multiple levels of the core masonry also are tilted. The blocks that make up the shaft structure are also tilted. But those seem to be keyed in to the core masonry.
Yeah.
So that you have the bottom block is tilted like this, and then the block on top of it is the one that has the shaft cut into it. This block that's basically makes up the bottom of the shaft is also tilted, but then the one it's sitting on is basically a wedge shape.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. Every time we go into this thing, being able to go into it multiple times is obviously a huge blessing. Like a massive privilege, but because we've done it so many times now, you get to go in and you're like, okay, I want to focus on this one part this time because you're not going in a hurry to try to see everything.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in all the chambers at this point. Well, we still haven't been up into the relieving chambers.
Yeah.
One day.
But there are still things,
and we haven't climbed it yet.
Yeah, still things that I'm realizing about these structures. Like that was a big focus of this last trip for me, was like, okay, all of the descending passages and subterranean chambers of all pyramids that we went in, I took video, except the Great Pyramid. I didn't bring my camera in there because I'm like, well, I've taken tons of video. And then like when I get back, I'm like, man,
where's my video of this?
I really like to show these good, and I'm looking like these videos are terrible. And they're not. So now I'm like, okay, in October, I'm going to focus on the Great Pyramid tunnels when we go in there. But so we did the Abruhuash Descent.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed in there too was that there are structures, like you can see the floor plans of like chambers at the bottom of Abruhuash.
Yep.
Multiple chambers. One of them is still kind of boxed in. There's some holes that's been torn apart or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you look at the walls, you don't see the depressions where they were like casing the walls of the big giant pit.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
And so I'm thinking, no, they built these giant chambers in there and then they corbelled over the top of that chamber. So there would have been a huge void
That's true.
above these features. And then, of course, the ramp is, it would have, all the masonry on that ramp is like
It's
this.
tilted, yeah.
And so they probably would have, they made it a small tunnel or maybe a grand gallery-like structure. There would have been a opening above it.
Yep.
That's what gave me the idea.
Yeah.
We went down into, what was it? My Doom. And you go down there and all the masonry is angled and you get to the bottom and there's this beautiful prism block where the bottom angled piece
Changes
has this, and it's got this perfect little notch where the corner of this one, and then it's just like, dude, I took a video of that. Me and Ben were checking it out, but it's amazing the way they did have like the sort of method for interfacing between these angled structures. And we looked at the satellite pyramids, even the casing blocks of the satellite pyramids. As you approach the descending passageway, the tops of the blocks are being tilted further and further, each block successively getting tilted. And then boom, there's the entrance and they're all,
yeah, that's right.
So it's really cool. Just, I don't know.
The satellite pyramid of the bent pyramid had the same thing. It was like the blocks are like this, and then as it got close to the entrance, they began to tilt down, and then bam, they're angled down. And that was interesting because that one went down, and then there was a short, very short, flat, the very bottom of the descending passage in this little satellite pyramid for the bent pyramid. You go down the descending passage, you hit the bottom of it, and then there's, I don't know, maybe a couple of feet, and then it goes up. It's a big V shape. You go up, and then you exit out, you kind of climb something, and then you're in a corbelled chamber, a small one.
Probably right at the ground level.
Could be right at the ground level.
Chamber.
And then you go to the corbelled chamber, and in the back of it, there's a huge hole going down. And you could see that, and that was probably tomb robbers or whatever, people coming in there to dig for stuff because they penetrated through the floor of this pit in the back of the corbelled chamber, and you could see that all of the stone was like finely worked, and then where they had broken through the floor, there's more stone below it, but they weren't finely worked, right? But there was a hole down there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
they excavated a massive pit.
Yeah.
And then they built it back with goods. So when you look at Zawiyat El Arian.
Yep. Well done.
Big ramp, giant pit, and in the bottom of the pit were these beautifully tiled stones.
Yes.
Okay. And they're all limestone, except there's a path from the ramp, then turning right and going, and a big granite box.
Yeah.
The path is all granite.
All granite. Yeah.
Everything else is limestone, and a beautiful limestone, right? So I'm thinking that granite path was going to be the floor of the tunnel
of the passageway
that led to a granite chamber where the box was.
Yeah.
Okay, so there would have been this whole structure. Well, the archaeologist, I can't remember what his name was, like Bellini or something like that. He's like, clearly there's, probably a chamber hidden under here.
Oh, yeah. So he digs up the whole floor.
And he starts ripping up the blocks out of the floor, and it's just more blocks and more blocks. And the masonry goes way down.
Way down.
And when you look at the bedrock, there's like a really crappy layer of bedrock. Like it's all falling apart right at the level, just above the level of the floor. And the ancient Egyptians had tiled over it around the pit. And so I think what's going on is those floor, like they dug down, they wanted a certain level. They get to this really crappy bedrock. They dig all the way through that to a hard level of bedrock, and then they build it back with masonry all the way up to the level that they wanted.
Yeah.
So he's looking for a chamber, and he's just ripping up floor tiles. And then left them totally just destroyed. Piece of crap. Anyways, pissed me off. Don't want to talk about it. But my point is that, like, I think it's just the links that they went to create these chambers. And it's like everybody's digging through the floors of these places because it's masonry. It's still masonry.
Yeah. And they're thinking there must be something down here because why are these blocks still here?
Yeah. Look at the bedrock, dipshit.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can even see, like, I don't know. I thought there was
the bent pyramid. They penetrated through multiple, right? That
and then they get down to actual bedrock.
Yeah.
They dug through all this masonry. They finally get to bedrock. They stopped.
Yeah.
I went and looked at that last chamber, and it's like,
yep, they got all the way down.
They hit the natural bedrock, and they were like, damn,
nothing down here.
They just
It was all
tiled up.
structural.
That was the foundation for
Yeah.
the subterranean chambers.
Man. Yep, we learn new stuff about the construction methods every time.
So I got to update the pyramids, the anatomy of a pyramid presentation with all of this stuff, and I plan to, make a video out of it, but it's going to be a lot of work. I got to.
Let me see what else I had.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. Let's see.
Because we might want to switch over to what you've got for a while. Let's see
what you got here.
See what I got.
Grand Gallery Queen's Chamber KV5. You want to check that out?
Oh, yeah. So we did get into KV5. Now, so KV5 is supposed to be one of the, the largest or the one of the tombs in the Valley of the Kings with the most chambers, like 120 chambers, they said. The map of it looks insane. And so Ben and I and Kyle and I started talking about can we get into this? Because it's never open. Every time you go to the Valley of the Kings, there's a huge cafe area where people kind of hang out. And then there's sort of a maze in the valley, there's a maze of pathways that go to different tomb sites, and they'll have like 7 or 8 of them open at a time. And you basically, you get a ticket. You can go into 3 of them in one day. And it's like, Ramses 2 and 3, like Seti the First, the, King Tut, what are the other ones? I can't remember. There's a whole bunch of them that are open, but there's a lot of tombs there, and most of them are locked all the time. We've been multiple times, and like KV5 has never been open. So we started asking, like, can we go into this one? Because when you look at the map, you're like, holy shit, like this thing is enormous. So we finally were able to go into this one, and we got some video to show you what it was like getting in.
We'll see how this audio goes. I don't know what it's going to do, actually.
Okay. We're doing KV5. Special permission.
Yes.
I don't think anybody's been in here in a long time.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, did you pay?
Did I pay? Is my name on there?
I don't see your name.
Oh, no.
You in the fucking company.
Busted.
Totally busted.
Busted.
He didn't get to go.
I didn't get to go. I didn't pay. So you can mute this one. We don't have to. Yeah. So we're heading in, and basically what I want to say about this is that it was, number one, it was not what I was expecting. There were a lot of chambers, but the chambers were tiny, like lots of little alcoves off the sides of passageways. And then the condition of the tomb itself was very, very poor. Like it is degrading, or it has been falling apart.
Yeah, it's been flooded.
Yeah,
I mean, you would
flooded
expect
multiple
it to be
times. Yeah,
pretty crappy.
I'll skip ahead a bit. Oh, how do I do that every time? What am I doing?
You just gotta pull this back up. Like it, I don't know.
Like I just
Riverside.
I touch the bottom of the screen and it changes. So let me skip ahead here. Yeah, so you can see they've put in a bunch of
sketch.
Yeah, it's very sketchy. They put in a bunch of supports for the ceiling because it definitely looks like it wants to fall in. Extremely rough. Presumably at one point it was finally worked. And there were a few places we saw some small remnants of plaster. The plaster had been painted with figures and glyphs, but most of it was extremely rough like this. I don't know if the whole thing was ever plastered, but for sure the work was probably fine at one point. And as we went through, we saw multiple rooms that had been flooded almost to the ceiling with multiple layers of sediment.
Multiple inundations. I mean, it was like,
yes. So water flowed into this thing, carrying rubble and sediment and gravel many, many times until it had filled some of the chambers all the way to the ceiling. So it was kind of an adventure going around. So you can see here, the archaeologists have come in and they've been digging it out. So in the middle of this room, they dug basically out of the doorway and then to the right and left and around the walls, they've cleared out the material. But you can see here where I've paused the video, we're looking at a huge pile of sediment, and it's clearly been deposited in layers, which implies multiple, like Kyle said, multiple inundations. And you can see buckets full of the material. And you can see the layering there clearly.
So you see the finds. I don't know if you can see my pointer, but these are the finds. This would have been like the end of a flood.
Yep.
Where you just got muddy water at the top and then all the silt in the water settles. Here's another one down here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in between these would be like maybe I think the first layer above the silt, these big chunks, is the ceiling collapsing.
Yes. Stuff from the
So
ceiling.
this is all the ceiling collapse over however many decades, hundreds of years, whatever. And then you have a flood that brings in all these rocks, and then the flood finishes out with the silt, and then again, more ceiling collapse, and then another flood bringing a bunch of small rubble and gravel, and then you have another silt layer up here.
Yep.
I counted 7 of them in one room.
Yeah.
In one of the rooms, we were looking at it, and I was pointing it out to people, and I think it was 7.
6 or 7,
9.
yeah. And there were several rooms where down to their bottom, where the very top, basically the top of the layer of the sediment was like the fine silts like Kyle was just discussing, and it had desiccation cracks.
Yeah.
So you could tell, like, yes, this is water. Brings this stuff in, dries out, cracks like mud. So it was very interesting to go through. It's incredibly dusty, and you can see like there's places where the ceiling has been collapsing. The pillars don't look in great shape, but large rooms. It felt cramped because of all the flooding material.
It was definitely, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was pretty. And then you can see I'm pointing out here some.
These were like all the things that I hate. We get in there and then the dust starts getting kicked up, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I hate breathing dust.
It's dusty.
It's going to make me sick.
The ceiling wants to collapse.
And then the ceiling is collapsing. I'm like, definitely don't want to get trapped in here.
Yeah. I'll skip ahead a bit.
I'm no Flinders Petrie, dude. I was just like, I stayed under the post shores.
Yeah, Kyle.
I was like, I think I'll just hang out here.
So here's a room that has been entirely filled.
Yeah.
That would have been a little alcove off the side of this passageway, and it's been completely filled.
Yeah,
with
there were
material.
doors on both sides of this.
Yes, all the way down.
All the way down.
Yeah. And most of them have been filled to the ceiling.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild. So all the way through, this is a long video, but I could skip ahead some more. There's just, look at that. Look at
all the layers.
Look how high this is. Yeah, look how tall this is. I come in
1,
to
2,
the
3,
ceiling.
4, 5. Oh,
and there's a little piece of pottery right there.
the whole thing could have come down.
Yep, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done it.
Safe spot. There's a post shore right there. That's where I was standing. I get down into that room. I'm like, yep, standing under the post shore.
Let's see. Yeah, you can see there's little bits of artifacts in the material. Anyway, this thing doesn't skip ahead very well, but
No, just click somewhere else on the bar.
yeah.
Man, you look at you, just digging. Just digging.
I'm not digging.
Unauthorized
That's not what you're talking
excavations.
about. Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see, again, the walls are collapsing and the rooms on the side are filled with material. So the whole thing was just, I don't know. I would love to know what it looked like in its prime and how old it is, of course, too. It does look like a vault,
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to go in there.
I was thinking that
will we
maybe-
do it again?
No.
Probably not.
I was thinking
It is
that maybe
dangerous.
initially a massive flood altered the cliffs around, or altered the valley in some way.
Yeah.
That diverted the water, or maybe the water itself dug and opened up the tomb,
Yeah.
and then it started flooding in there because it seems weird that they would initially dig a tomb. How long does it take? Must have taken so long. So they would have known floods. They would have seen floods come down that valley.
That was one of the questions. How old does it have to be to have that much flooding?
So it has to be like, well, the flooding is clearly on top of skeletons and mummies and stuff. But my point is that I think that something happened, some massive flood diverted the water to a new place and then flooded it because they would have noticed.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think
that water was coming in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Yusuf or Mo telling me what the site director guy was saying, but they think that after it was plundered, in other words, it was broken into and then it was open.
Yeah.
They had like broken the seal.
Yeah.
And then after that is when it just kept getting inundated.
Yeah.
Because the tomb robbers got in there, took out everything of value, and then after that it was exposed. That was what they said.
But still, you imagine the power of these floods coming down that valley. The whole valley was carved by flooding. Mm-hmm. It's a huge valley, huge chasm.
Massive canyon, yeah.
So, like, there had to be some kind of flood that was going to put that tomb in a position to be filled with water.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. It just seems weird.
I agree
because the other tombs have been open. They've been robbed. They're not full of sediment.
It's whatever position it's in is for whatever reason made it vulnerable to that kind of flooding. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was really interesting. I don't want to go back. But it was definitely worthwhile to go to. Wales?
No. Play the Sinai video and we'll go into your stuff.
Okay.
So you can kick that one off.
This one?
Yeah.
So traditionally, after the Egypt tours, we go to Sharm el-Sheikh, which is a resort on the Red Sea, and it's in the Sinai Peninsula. And the first time we went there, Ben was just like, what are we doing? Where are we going?
Hey,
like,
what's the plan?
We're going to go look at something? And Yusuf's like, relax. We'll be on the beach. We'll just relax. And Ben was just gung-ho.
I don't want to relax.
I don't. So we get there, and then he's like, oh, actually, relaxing is great.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yusuf planned some excursions for us. So we went to a couple of places in the desert. And this is around the same time as, like I think shortly thereafter we went to Turkey for the first time. But we were at this place in the desert that I call the Dragon Head.
Yeah.
And I think they call it the alligator.
Or crocodile or something. Yeah.
But this is just what the landscape looks like. You're driving down the highway. You're going from the southern tip of the Sinai Peninsula north. And we're heading to Dahab right now. Either that or we're coming back.
Toward Dahab, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we go through Dahab and head. So Dahab's like still in the southern part of the Sinai Peninsula, but it's like an hour north via this highway. So we're just driving through these canyons of granite mountains. The whole Sinai is just insane, dude. Like, we're going up the east coast of the Sinai, Red Sea, the eastern side. It's just wild going through this incredibly rugged landscape.
Yeah.
But this desert place, let me open up the map and we'll just take a look here.
Okay.
We'll get an overview. Let's go to Google Earth. Okay, so here's the Sinai Peninsula. This is Sharm el-Sheikh, the area where we chill out and don't do anything except go out into the desert occasionally. So you can see all this area here. This is all these granite mountains. And then Dahab is right here. This is another little sort of like if you think of like a surfer village or surfer town, for Egypt, that would be it. Except there's no waves to surf on. It's a diving town, I guess you could say, but it's kind of got that vibe.
It does have a sort of a hippie vibe.
Yeah, for Egypt. And then this is this little.
We're like, what do you do here? They're like, oh, I dive, and at night I kind of jam, bro.
Yeah.
I play in bars, man. It's cool.
So this little desert area is where we went the first time we did like some excursions out here. But just generally on the geology of this whole place, this upper portion is more of the limestone, sandstone area. This is called the Jabal Juna mountain range. And then, so there's this whole line right here of the sort of
where the granite and the limestone meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sort of interface between the granite and sandstone, limestone. And apparently this is the root of the story of Moses fleeing Egypt. He takes this route. He follows this.
Oh, yeah. This is the Exodus route.
This path in the Exodus. I found that interesting. I didn't even know that until we went, the second day we went out, we came up here, we went to some temple. There's like a temple of Hathor out here in the granite mountains somewhere. We're like, what?
Why?
And it definitely was not. There was one column that had a carving of Hathor.
Right.
That I saw, but whatever. I don't want to get into that. But okay, so this goes back to this whole discussion about the Taj Tepe Air civilization. So you have Turkey up here, and then Göbekli Tepe is down here on the southern area. There's Şanlıurfa. So Göbekli Tepe is right here. Here's the Harran Valley, the Harran Plain, right on the southern border of Turkey and Syria. And so the Fertile Crescent essentially is this big crescent shape here where the earliest civilizations lived. That's when the Taj Tepe Air civilization, or the pre-pottery Neolithic people, were occupying this whole area all the way down.
They supposedly predate the arrival of the conventional civilizations of Sumer and Egypt and everything, right? They predate this. The PPN certainly do, but it was still the Fertile Crescent at the time, and maybe more fertile than it was at the time of the rise of Egypt and Sumer.
So when you look up the Fertile Crescent, you'll see a map with like the crescent being like this. But actually, the Taj Tepe Air civilization, or at least the pre-pottery Neolithic, there's a whole bunch of pre-pottery Neolithic sites in the Sinai that were excavated in the 80s and the 70s.
And they're between the two gulfs that come off of the Red Sea, right?
They're down here in the southern Sinai.
Yeah.
And a few of them are along this ancient route, right? The juncture between these two geologic, I don't know which materials. And then there's some down here at St. Catherine. The oldest one that I've found in the literature is like, this is the Mount Moses. This is the fabled mountain that he went upon, Mount Sinai, to get the 10 Commandments and whatever. All the weird stuff about that came down glowing and, shattered the
There was a giant pillar of smoke on top of the mountain for so long. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they're in the papers, and I was unable to find the actual site, but this supposedly this little monastery, I don't know where it is, St. Catherine's Monastery or whatever, right near there is a cliff.
It's over there on the right.
Okay, here we go. So right near the monastery is a granite cliff with a gigantic boulder, and underneath or in the shade of this boulder is a pre-pottery Neolithic A site.
Wow.
That's 10,000 years old.
Whoa.
And on top of that is a pre-pottery Neolithic B settlement with the rock wall, all the stuff. Okay, so
with the cobblestone walls and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I couldn't find it. No one knew. And like, guys, it's crazy trying to everybody here, like the scientists that did the excavations, and you can see the cliffs there. It's probably just right here somewhere. I mean, I was like, can we just go and I'll walk around? No, you can't. You can't just go walking around.
You can't just go anywhere. And you have to have permissions and permits because there's checkpoints.
There's police checkpoints, there's military checkpoints everywhere
everything
you go.
You have to have paperwork.
If you are not a Egyptian, you have to have papers that say this
is where I'm going.
Tourist. The driver gives to every checkpoint. I have 2 tourists.
Yep.
They have your passport numbers.
Yep.
They have everything. So they want to check, make sure you're the right tourist. They're like, show me your passports. You check. Yep. They verify it on the paper. Okay. I have 2 tourists. They're going here.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
And they're coming back today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they check.
So it's like, I can't be sent. Like Mo cannot send me, can't create a permission with the government to say, I'm going to send a tourist to walk around in the mountains
somewhere in
nearby the
St. Catherine's Monastery.
That's not happening. But it took me a while to figure it out, and I actually learned a whole lot about what it is that's actually happening behind the scenes while we're all in Egypt. I was like, dude, I did not even realize the level of scrutiny that the government places on every single tourist's movement.
The level of bureaucratic bullshit that goes on.
Well,
they're keeping
actually
track.
Appreciate it. It's like, wow, this is...
Oh, they want to know where you are in case you
want to know where
disappear.
You are. They want to know when you're coming back, all this kind of stuff. And this kind of gives you an idea of like how serious
that it?
The
Stone of
is.
Musa? Is that the boulder?
The Stone of Musa. Oh, look at the boulders.
Oh, man.
Is there pictures?
That might be it. They've got a little shrine around it.
Something there? What do we got? Oh,
there it is.
Look at
God. Look at that boulder. It could be it, dude.
Dude. So this is the other thing. The Egyptians have all their own names for things.
Yeah. Look at that. That's weird.
They carved, dude, is this like, see, this looks kind of like something you would see in a Taj Tepelair. They carved out.
They cut something into it. Yep.
Something. Bro.
Well, we can get a permission to go see the Stone of Musa.
Yeah.
There you go.
Definitely can. Look at the limestone here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the bedrock.
Yep.
Or is that granite? I don't know. Anyways, very interesting. So, what was I saying?
So you're looking, wanted to go out here, you couldn't do it.
I'm trying to tell them the names of these places. And of course, the names were created by scientists or archaeologists that aren't they're not Egyptians.
Yeah.
And so they name some place like this one, Wadi Tabik. And I'm like, can you take me to Wadi Tabik? Well, Wadi means a
valley
or it's this river valley.
Yeah, this wash.
What do you call it? A canyon.
A dry wash. Yeah, wadi.
Is a wadi.
Yeah.
And this name, no one knows this name.
No one knows it. Yeah.
So I'm cruising around on Google Earth, and I see this Tabayak.
Mm-hmm.
And I only know how to pronounce that because I showed this word. I'm trying to pronounce it with Mo, and he's like, "Oh, Tabayak." And then then I talked to the Bedouins.
Yeah.
And they're like, I go Tabik, and he goes Tabayak.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like it is Tabayak.
Tabayak.
So Tabayak waters. So this is why I'm thinking this might be one of the sites, because in the paper it says it's on the bank of a small tributary to Wadi Tabik. Well, here's a small tributary.
Mm-hmm.
And boom.
Yeah. Then you got a couple of stone circle houses.
And I wasn't even sure looking on the map. Are these
structures
real? Is this some geological thing, or just who knows, dude? It's weird. You just don't know. Like, but look at this stuff. Like that I think we know.
Yes,
for sure. So the let's go back to our.
So on Google Maps, we're looking at these. There are these like circular features in there that Kyle was finding. And he was hoping we could go see them.
Yeah, for those of you listening. Yeah. So what we ended up doing, Mo just like sends us to the desert. He's like, the boys want to go to the desert.
Yeah. Take them on the safari.
He tells the guy, just take them to the desert. And so the guy's taking us around to these places. He's going to take us to Nawamis. We've already been there. I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. But I tell him,
But Nawamis is a series of circular structures,
Yes.
which they say were probably tombs. And when we were there before, we looked all around looking for lithics, looking for midden, and didn't find anything, implying
Yes.
that they may actually have been tombs. But they were circular, rough stone structures.
yes. So this is cool. I had done all these little waypoints on Google Maps. There's a little circle there around this desert area because I love this desert area. Here's a bunch of little circles, and you can see I labeled them possible ruin because I wasn't sure. Is this just some weird geological feature that I will, once we get there, recognize? But again, I find out I can't just go hiking through the mountains on the edge of this
looking
desert.
at possible ruin spots.
Yeah.
Also, there's definitely no data service out here. So once you get out there, you just have to tell the driver Bedouin guy, like, hey, do you know if there's any circles?
Yeah. And that's exactly what we did. He took us to like this real touristy spot. He's like, climb the dune.
Yeah, that's right.
Take a picture, walk down the dune. I'll meet you on the other
Yes.
side. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
We did it.
Yeah. It was cool. I was like, this is not why we're here. Okay. So this is the spot. Love this spot. And, we did go back here. So we went here the first time we were in the Sinai, and we went back recently. And after we talked to the guy, the Bedouin who is taking us around, we explained to him what we were really looking for. Like, okay, we're looking for flint.
Yes, we got out and showed him flint,
And
showed him the stone, because we didn't know the word for it, and he didn't
Yeah.
speak a lot of English. So we're like, this stone, and we're looking for this, but like tools, like ancient. And he got the idea.
So yeah, he figured out like, oh, okay, this is flint, and I actually I wrote down the Bedouin word for flint.
for
You know,
flint.
we've got a little
Yeah, well, lexicon. Yeah.
lexicon going of Arab words. So
Oh, did you put it in there?
Yeah,
Oh, let me
I put
see
it
if I
in
can
there.
Find it.
And then when I talked about the roundhouses, he was like, oh yeah, I know some of those. So he takes us to these roundhouses that he found, and he had seen them before. And let's see.
Suwan.
Suwan. That's right. Suwan. Let's see. Where's the first one? I think it's here. This is pretty cool. Let's watch this. And this is just the landscape. Look at how just rugged this is.
Skipping. That's weird.
Maybe it's not downloaded yet. That's an annoying thing about iPhotos, people.
It's
like
still in the cloud?
The cloud, yeah. It and I just had it playing just perfectly earlier, but I don't know what it.
That is weird.
Yeah. Not wanting to do it.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, screw that.
Will any of them play?
Where is the one? It's not in here. The first one that we went to that had the standing stones, I thought I put it in here, but maybe it's in.
You do have some stuff in VLC.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
And that one's actually working properly, so let me do that. Sorry, folks. Bear with me here. Okay.
Yeah, you got Roundhouse Sinai one. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just.
Yeah, I mean, look where we are.
It's so tiny. I don't even know what it is, but look at how. So there's this depression that's the desert area around, and we're like right on the edge of it in this black stone. Yeah, this is mine. Didn't you find some bone fragments in this thing? So maybe this was a tomb or something?
There were bone fragments in one of them, yeah.
Okay, that in the distance.
Yes. Oh, there it is. Okay, yes.
Those are those-
I didn't find bone fragments here. We found bone fragments in the circles next to the place that had all the writing on the. Remember that?
Yeah.
What did he call it? Inscription rock? He called it.
Yeah.
Inscription. Yes, with looked like
We were looking at, we were thinking it was maybe
obsidian, but
obsidian.
it's probably a very dark flint.
Definitely. Because I found a piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
The photos are in there, but this is cool. This thing, these standing stones. Oh, do I not go over there?
Yeah, that's where he first took us
There
to
it
those.
is.
Yeah, look at those.
So there's this big circle over there, and it just doesn't look like much. I mean, how old are these things? That's the other thing.
Right.
There's almost nothing left, but just like, I mean, they're shattered. They're
Yeah. This is the next one. Yeah. This is good.
oh, let's go back. So yeah, just walking up to this thing.
Yeah. So
But like all of the sediment that would have been there 10,000 years ago is just gone.
it's gone. Yeah.
So it's removed. The wind has removed everything except the stone.
Yep.
That's just eerie.
It is. It was really actually a creepy, sort of a kind of an eerie place.
There's Adam Young.
Yeah.
He came out for 2 days, like flew to the
flew
Sinai
all the way out there
for 2 days just to go look at this.
2 days in the desert and 1 day
Guy's
on the
great.
beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this thing. So it's a series of, for people listening, it's a series of sharp, rough, uncut, basically just broken. What do you think that material is? I don't know. It's some kind of dark stone.
It looks almost volcanic.
It does look volcanic, but it's like a...
But look at the circle way out. Like
there's a big circle, but there's a section of it that's there's still like 10 maybe stones that are standing that are 2 to 3 feet tall, and they're all sharp and pointed. So it's like a series of teeth sticking out of the desert.
And just
But you can see that there was a circular or roundish structure there, and it's just almost all completely gone.
So crazy.
And it is literally in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there is nothing. But I guess a long time ago, this would have been in the valley floor with the water. It's just gone. And I remember I was telling the guy, I was like, we're looking for sites that would be on the banks of rivers. And he's like, no rivers.
Yeah, there's no rivers here. We're like, well,
yeah, a long, long time ago, bro.
what do you think made all these wadis, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is, and we were looking for artifacts because the idea here is to find more
PP&A.
pre-pottery Neolithic stuff, more Taj Tepelair civilization but actually, after we found this site, the pre-pottery Neolithic A site at Mount Sinai, I'm done. Like I'm just like, well, there's no reason to even look for pre-pottery Neolithic A because previous to that, the only thing I could find in the literature was pre-pottery Neolithic B in the Sinai, which is much later.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that the diffusion may have been the other way. Like modern archaeologists think that the diffusion was coming from Turkey, going down into the Sinai.
Right.
And possibly that the Helwan point made it into Egypt some much later time. The end of pre-pottery Neolithic
They got
B.
it backwards.
But there's pre-pottery Neolithic A at Mount Sinai with the B settlement on top of it. So they were already there for thousands of years before pre-pottery Neolithic B.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, the Sinai's done. Now we need to find them in the Faiyum.
Right.
Like, I didn't even know. It's like, and I swear to God, maybe I'm just a terrible researcher, but I'm searching and I realized I'm like, okay, my search queries were not, I wasn't using the right wording. I guess, because I was searching for lithics and in the Sinai, like lithic analysis in the Sinai, pre-pottery Neolithic lithics in the Sinai or something like that. I can't remember all the different search queries I did, but this paper never came up. This one that has this pre-pottery Neolithic A site. And it really, in the paper, it's just it's like 2 sentences.
But it should have come up. I mean, with a proper search engine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's...
Are you using Google Gentleman?
I'm using AI and Google and whatever. Anyways, like now I think I was too focused on the lithic types. I'm like looking for Helwan points. I'm looking for Aswad type points. I'm looking for all of these lithics that are associated with pre-pottery Neolithic A. Where are they?
Yeah.
Where have they been found? I wasn't just looking for like PPN settlements anywhere. But like you look up, yeah. Anyways, for whatever reason, this paper eluded me, and now I know. PPNA was in the Sinai, at Mount Sinai, in the dead center. You know.
Yeah. So you don't need to look there anymore. So you found
There's no point.
They've been traced there already.
Yeah. So now we need to push it further. It needs to go into the Faiyum. The Faiyum would be a great place to look because, dude. So when we were there, the Extinction went to the Faiyum this time. We took all these people out there, and we're driving with this guy. Me and Russ are in the car with Michael.
Yeah.
From
Shout
the
out
UK.
to Michael. What's up, bro?
We actually were working on a pyramid project together. He's helping me with this, some more of this pyramid stuff. Pretty cool. Anyways, we're riding in the van with this Bedouin, and he doesn't speak any English. And we're in the van in the Jeep or whatever Toyota Land Cruiser for 2 days.
Yep.
And Yusuf gets in there with us on the last day and starts talking to the guy. And immediately, like, he pulls off out of the caravan over on the side of the road. And he's like, get out right here. And we get out, and he's like, look down. And it's just
they're everywhere.
Artifacts everywhere. We're just like, yeah, we're picking up lithics. And they're the same styles. They're this blade and flake.
Yep.
What do they call it? A bipolar core technology where they shape the core, where they hit it, and they get this long blade flake off of there. I mean, it's the same stuff, and apparently it's been used everywhere and for maybe even hundreds of thousands of years. So I don't know if that's not significant enough. We need to find whole ones that have notches that have...
We need to find you got to find the base just to see if it's the same style. Yeah.
But it's enough, right? And it's on the ancient lake bed, the ancient banks of the lake that was the Faiyum, that's at least 8,000 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah.
Depending on the lake level. And I haven't looked at the geolocation of that spot where we were finding the lithics. Like, what level was the lake at that time?
Yeah.
But they were all camped around the banks of this lake.
Giant lake, yeah. Which is still there, but it's much smaller now. It's vastly reduced.
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, we'll go back real quick to, let's see, this is a Chrome tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go back real quick.
Google Earth.
Just before we move on out of the Sinai, this is the area that he took us to with the roundhouse. And this right here is that circle of spires, the sharp stones we were just looking at, this weird circle.
Yep.
And we walked to the end of this thing and came down and look at these.
Yep, there's a whole series of them
Another
there.
little circle. And in this area, I found an arrowhead.
Yeah.
And it's a
like a bird point.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny bird point.
Yeah.
It's a unifacial, but it's fully worked on one side. I'll show a picture of it real quick. It's in photos. I don't have all this set up in like a presentation, folks. Sorry.
That's fine.
You have to bear with me here.
Yeah, that one.
There it was. Beautiful black flint. But yeah, I don't show the other side of it, but the other side is just a flat. It's a single flake. So that was really awesome.
That was a great find.
And this is what these little things look like. This looks like a fire pit or something.
Yep.
From a distance, here's like these old
big circle of them, and then
these old walls.
Yeah.
And then a couple of small, and yeah, there were like flint chips around, and then the Bedouins down there in the valley cooking our lunch, which was great. Here's another one he took us to. So these things are visible from Google Earth.
Yeah.
And that was confirmation enough. Now we can look around. I mean, it's that was great.
That photo's geolocated, so we were able to use the photo to find the location on the map.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can look at it directly and see, like, yes, this is. You can see them from Google Earth.
Yeah, so that was great. Now we
cool.
know we can, that's kind of like a confirmation you can.
And what's crazy is, like, we're looking at that spot, and in the mountains all around, there's more. You just can't see them from where you are on the ground.
Where was that one that he took? It was all the way up in the north.
Yeah.
It was right here. Up
Did
in
you
this,
mark it?
No, but I know where it is. It was up in this. There it is, right there.
There it is. That's it. Yep. So that photo we were just showing you, he took us to this spot to look at it.
Yep. There's the big circle. This was this giant boulder you were thinking was like a.
It looked like a fire pit.
Yeah,
a place for a fireplace. Yeah.
And then Adam was like, "Oh, it's a 2-bedroom."
It's a 2-bedroom. Yeah.
And look, it's full of sand. So that was the other thing. Everything around it is rock, and like, it's like scree from this hill or whatever. It's deep sediment because you come out of this river valley or this little creek bed, and
You got to climb up. Yeah.
you can see it's all unconsolidated sediment, and this thing is full of sand.
So it's
which
probably
tells
deep.
me it was a pit house.
Yeah, it's a pit house. Yeah.
I mean, this is classic pre-pottery Neolithic style buildings. So very cool. What is this? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, you could just
I could get lost in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll go over to the Faiyum. So I love the Faiyum. Look at this beautiful grape leaf coming off of the you see how the Nile, it just looks like a grapevine growing up.
Yeah, and there's one leaf.
Yep, there's this one little leaf on the side. That's the Faiyum Oasis.
And there's the lake.
Here's the modern, Karun Lake. But this whole thing would fill, I think, during the inundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Nile would fill the valley there, and then it would come through, it would flood through that. You can see the break in the...
Yeah, right here.
And that's actually right on the... Zoom in there. I believe... Zoom in a little more on that. Yeah.
Lahoon. No.
No, go
Is that... Sorry. What? Here.
I was just going to say...
Whoops. My bad.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. If I can...
2 fingers will zoom out. Finger drag.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
What are we looking for?
The Labyrinth, right here.
Whoa.
It's right here.
There's the pyramid right there. What?
So the Labyrinth would have been built right on the...
Wow.
That's the canal.
I've never looked at this. This is amazing.
This is what I was trying to tell you while we were at the site. So the canal goes right through here. They cut it through. This is an upper area, right?
Yeah.
All of this is lowlands because as you can see, if I zoom out here, you can see that when the Nile flooded, the water would fill into here and spill across this lowland area that basically is, and these are uplands.
Yes.
Much higher, probably like 40 meters or something like that. 30, 40 meters higher. So the water would spill through here, and the Labyrinth is right on the banks of that spillway.
That's amazing.
This is it. I mean, I am having a trouble.
Do 2 fingers scroll up?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to zoom in and out.
Like this.
Okay. I see. Okay. I don't know how to use. Don't know how to use.
That's so easy.
That is nice and easy. Yeah. So the Labyrinth is here.
Look at the potholes.
Yeah. Look at them. They've been digging here for.
Scroll up. Yeah. Look at all the.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, they've been digging because there's stuff here. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. It's really cool.
Amazing.
So zooming back out again, the Faiyum, and there's Karun Lake. So we did a lot of traveling out here, right?
I got to go back over here. Hold on a second. So, one of the interesting things about this pyramid, though, is this where it is? Yeah. Is that it? No. That's not it.
No, it's up there where the canal goes through.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right there.
Okay, that was another pyramid.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of this pyramid is actually buried.
Yes.
Like when you're standing here, clearly, like the center of the pyramid is here.
Right.
This would be a corner coming down. So this, I mean, it's just the bottom of this pyramid is practically buried. And so I think that all of this sand, what it looks like is this sand was washed in or blown in. I guess it could have been blown in, but I think that this was all flooded and the base of the pyramid was flooded, because another aspect of it is that I think this may be actually the center line of the pyramid.
Oh, wow.
Is
Yeah,
that
you could be
possible?
right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough to tell. I mean, that thing is so heavily
This is
degraded.
the center line because this is the entrance.
That's the entrance. Yeah.
Going down, beautiful entrance, and they had to dig the entrance out.
Yeah.
So either the entrance is coming up, and here's the actual base. The
Yeah.
pyramid would have been, so it would have been way up on a wall of the pyramid, or if it is a, the entrance enters at the bedrock level or at the ground level, then the ground level was much lower,
Much
at
farther
the
down,
time.
yeah.
So that it's just an indication that all of this stuff here, and now that I'm seeing the bigger picture, may have been brought in from a Nile flood.
Yes.
From this direction.
Yeah.
So it pushed all of the sediment and buried that
Yeah, you
whole
can kind
area.
of see with the other wadi here. There's an entire wash in.
Yes.
This might be a place where when extraordinary floods brought in material. I don't know.
Oh, let's look at that. So that's a bend in the river. So it's like
Yeah.
hauling ass, and it just
Yes.
it floods
It
up
could
into here.
be. It could be. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very interesting geology. Very interesting. I would love to see the inundations. I just that part of it kills me. That the dam is there,
Yeah.
and we'll never see
What it
was-
did. Yeah.
Yeah, because the river came up to so many places. The banks of the river were right at the bases of these temples and pyramids and everything, and we'll never see that.
Yeah.
It's unless
And also look
Anything
at the
could happen, I
scale of the. I mean, Randall has talked about this plenty of time, but look at the scale of the valley. The Nile is this. It's over here.
yeah, it's this tiny
It's
little.
this little bitty
underfit
thing
river.
running along the
and
eastern.
it's huge.
It's a massive river, but it's this little bitty thing running along the eastern side of the valley, which is this gigantic, and you
This
can
is
see
another thing I love
it has
pointing
been.
out to people when we're there. is
Yeah, how far apart
we're
these
in
cliffs
these
are.
places, and you look way out in the distance, and there's this 1,000-foot cliff,
Yeah,
and it's like that's the other.
that's the
bank
other side of the valley of the bank of the,
underfit.
right.
Of this channel that
It's-
the whole river would flow in. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. Okay. So now this place is incredible. So we've come here before. This is supposedly the basalt quarry where the basalt for the Great Pyramid, where is the tiling in front, or the floor in front of the Great Pyramid? I'm not going to be able to find it.
It's
Anyways, the basalt pavement in front of the Great Pyramid, the basalt itself was gotten from this quarry.
yeah,
And Abruhuash, Abu Sir also has all this basalt. So all the basalt built in the Old Kingdom or the pyramid builder time
Probably gonna make
comes
me
from
sick.
this basalt quarry. That's what we're told.
yeah.
And
Here it is.
yes. And of course we we tend to think that these Old Kingdom pyramids are much older than modern archaeology gives them credit for. And they all have this similar plan, this layout. Like when you go to Abu Sir, Abu Ghurab, you have this large pyramid structure. You have a basalt pavement, a mortuary temple, what they call. Then you have a causeway going down, and then a valley temple somewhere. Here we have the middle pyramid, the mortuary temple, the causeway coming down, the valley temple.
And the Sphinx temple and the Sphinx there. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's interesting because
Yeah.
of that.
And then
Menkaure.
Menkaure also has its.
Mortuary temple, and all the paving is gone
Yeah.
from here. It's been plucked out of there. Causeway down to probably a buried valley temple.
The
Here's Kent Kawas.
Great Pyramid Causeway goes down into the town. Yusuf
Yeah.
has shown us where there's a street where you bump over it.
Look at it.
Yeah. You drive over it and boom. He's like, this is the causeway.
Yeah. So there's this very similar, again, this style of building, and they're using this basalt. Well, this is supposedly where the basalt came from. And the idea is they took the basalt down to boats. So I guess during the inundation, this would fill up, but it's not going to go much higher than this green area, I would suppose.
Right.
I'm not really sure exactly how high. We'll have to look that up, how high the inundations are. But part of the thing that we look for, or that we go visit when we're out here, is this thing called the oldest road. And I've marked it here on the map where you can see it. And it supposedly comes from this basalt quarry. Should we start here or start at the lake? Yeah, we'll start here.
Yeah, start here, yeah.
So we're looking around on maps today trying to find out, because we had come to the base of this last trip, but this sandstorm blew in. It was insane, and we were just like, no, we're not gonna, because we were like, we're gonna climb to the top.
We want to see the quarry
Basalt
face.
Mountain,
Yeah.
and we want to get up there and find where they were actually quarrying.
Not this time. Yeah.
Not this time. But there is a modern quarry on the backside of this mountain, and supposedly, I haven't looked into the literature or anything about this quarry site yet. I haven't done the research on it yet, but what we've been told, or what I've been told, is that when the modern quarry was looking around, of course, they found this, or maybe they already knew about it, but they preserved it. They didn't dig into it.
They're working on the backside. The ancient quarry is on the front, or on the southern end.
It's possibly
somewhere
it's
here.
I mean, this could be it.
It could be. Ben and I were reading the paper on it, and they did have a drawing that showed where the ancient quarry faces were, but I don't remember the details. But they're somewhere here on this mesa.
This just looks like classic sort of Egyptian. So you can see the scoop marks here from like a big loader.
Yeah.
You can see them here from a big loader. So we've been up close and personal with these marks in the desert. And so we were talking about that earlier when we were looking at the map. It's like, yeah, I can recognize those now. These are like
they've come and dozed a road through the desert. Yeah, there's
right
another
here.
one. Yeah.
But we went ahead and picked a spot that we think might be maybe this is the basalt quarry base camp.
Yeah.
Because look, they look like roundhouses.
Yep, they're circles.
So how old are those? This looks like a whole little, there might be a road that goes through the middle of it. Maybe.
Could be.
And there's all these roundhouses next to it. And then a modern road. Anyway, we just stuck a marker there. We'll go check it out. So we didn't climb up to the top of it this time. The last time we went there, we were like, that's too hard. It was really hot.
We didn't know where the quarry face was supposed to be either. It was classic. We didn't do any research. And then when we got back to the hotel that night, Ben and I were looking at the paper and we're like, oh, they were right above us. We should have climbed up there. But also Yusuf was telling us like it's incredibly dangerous that it's basically you have to go boulder climbing because it's massive chunks, and from massive all the way down to tiny chunks of basalt have been falling off of this mesa for millions of years or whatever. So it is a very dangerous climb, but we are going to do it at some point.
Okay, so now let's go to the oldest road. So down from this, what we're calling the basalt quarry base camp, this is the beginning, at least, of the road that we can confirm from Google Earth.
And there you can see it next to the line.
So I put the line offset so you can see this is the road. And it's a stone construction and a berm. So they built it up with something like, I think there's a limestone base.
Yeah.
And then in some places it's topped with
basalt and
petrified wood. So you can
We've
see
mentioned this on previous shows that we found like basically a petrified wood corduroy road. But in many places it's almost invisible. But there are some places where it's very well preserved. So Kyle's just kind of following the line here. There's places where it's been washed out and basically vanishes.
Look at this area. You come off of this little uplift and down into this lower depression, and the road vanishes. Like there's a tiny little remnants of it there. But here you have a cliff face, and it just basically goes straight off this cliff. I think this is where we stopped, maybe.
Yeah, we stopped there.
And
the other
down.
cars were sort of climbing down carefully, and then you could see it.
Now, you can see some water run off there, and then the road kind of disappears again. Shows back up. There's some little peaks of it. Here's another modern trail that crosses it. It goes along. Here's another cliff edge.
Yep.
Maybe this is the one we stopped at.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But basically, you're descending the whole time.
Look at the water. You can see how the water flowed down that.
Yeah. It's
Right
cut
there.
that out and washed all this out, and the road just disappears.
Road is gone.
Yeah.
And I think what I was looking at from up there, I was thinking that this was the road curving around, but maybe not. I don't think it is.
It could be parts of it washed out there.
Maybe. So the line just goes in the general direction until the road shows up again, which is, I think, right there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Somewhere. It
Another
gets lost
cliff.
at some point. Yeah. And then it shows up.
There's
near the
no
bottom.
road here.
Yeah. But there it shows up again
Boom.
as it goes down this little hillside. And there it is. And this is an excellent, well-preserved section.
So the whole time we're visiting this again for the second time, I'm thinking like, there has to be a structure at the bottom, like where they would have moved the blocks of basalt onto a boat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if it was during the inundation, that's one thing because the river would have connected the Faiyum to
Yeah.
the main river.
Greater Nile, yeah.
But if we think that this is these pyramid builders, the original pyramid builders were much older,
Yeah.
then maybe this is connected when the lake levels were actually higher.
Higher, exactly. Yeah.
And so we're like, well, there's got to be some kind of dock or some kind of pier or something built at the bottom to bring the stones out into the water where the boat is sitting.
Yeah.
Then you can load them on the boat. You're not going to just have the boat out in the water beyond
Right.
the shallows and then you're just dragging a stone through the mud at the lake edge. No.
No.
There has to be a big pier.
Yeah.
So we drive along.
Drop down there again, and the road
Drop down.
basically disappears. But
We come down, and this is real steep, this
Yeah.
whole area, and we'll show you some video of coming down this area. There's the checkpoint. So we get to the checkpoint, and the driver and the checkpoint guy have this long yelling conversation, which is apparently friendly, you can't tell. But we're looking in the distance, and there's all this basalt. And to us, it looks like a gigantic pile of black
Yeah.
stone. Here, it just looks like little specks. And I don't know, round circular structures, but
Yeah.
definitely a mound. I mean,
we couldn't stop that day. We're gonna have to check it out. Though.
it's a mound. I mean,
Yeah.
it's risen way up above the normal level around it, like these levels. It's up high,
yeah.
many feet up high. So we got to come back and check it out. And we were like, oh, can we get out and go look at it? And we were all feeling terrible because we're in a sandstorm,
sandstorm
or
is-
whatever.
yeah.
And we're just like, next time.
Yeah.
So we drive around and we drop off, and sure enough, right here in this area from Google Earth, you can see like these salts or something deposited there. But what we saw when we got down here is the lake fossils.
Yeah.
All these giant oyster shells and
Shells.
everything in the rock. Just all the fossils are just everywhere.
Yeah.
Even driving from in the Land Cruiser, you're just looking out and it's like, oh my gosh, look at this is all so this was an ancient lake bank at some point here.
You should close the old Stone of Musa window there.
yeah.
It's been open this whole
Sorry.
time. It's all right.
And crazy enough, the first place we visited is Qasr el Saga,
Yeah.
which is right here.
Right
this
here.
is the Qasr el Saga temple. A very strange temple that seems to be out in the middle of nowhere in the desert in the Faiyum oasis.
You can see blocks scattered all around it, and it's
Yeah.
megalithic.
It's a megalithic temple. There's no writing.
Yeah. It is a really strange place.
It is a very strange place, and like when we're driving down past this basalt, what we're calling the pier, which is a little bit lower, Qasr el Saga is basically sitting on this upper ledge right here.
Right. At what might have been one of the levels of the lake. Exactly.
Okay, so we looked this up, and it's like, what is the elevation of this? Let's see, what is Google Earth saying? It's saying 35 meters 36 meters above sea level. So you come down here, 22 meters, 18 meters.
Yeah.
18 meters, 20 meters.
Yeah.
So it's 2 meters above whatever this level is, 19 meters, 16 meters. So it's dropping off right here.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect pier at the end of the road next to a temple. Here's the salt. There's the fossils. So we looked it up, and Adam was doing this too. Like after we left, I had told him this whole story when he came to the Sinai with us, and he starts looking it up, and he's sending me all this stuff, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the last time the lake level was that high was like 7,000 or 8,000 years ago."
Yeah.
And that's crazy. So we're gonna do a deep dive on that. We got to get up to the quarry.
Yep.
We're looking for saw cuts. We got to go to that little pier site. Look for saw cuts. Look for all of the indicators that this was, the pyramid builders.
Show your videos of the road itself.
Okay.
I know we've shown people who've watched a bunch of the podcasts before have seen this, but we want to show it again. I think you have it in VLC. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
All right. This is just driving along the road.
Is it going to play? That's the
Please
question.
play.
There we go. So this is the remnants of the road. And this section is petrified wood. Those are petrified logs.
It's crazy. And it's very narrow. We were talking about this well, you only need to make the road, I guess, big enough for the stone.
Right. But it's
whatever.
also, there's a lot of sections where it's lifted up high. I think that it's buried here because there's
Look, it disappears right there.
There's a lower section of basically like some kind of limestone material that all the petrified wood is set on top of. But there are some areas where you can see that it would have been a large.
Yes, it's on a big berm.
Yeah.
Like they built a berm. They capped it with limestone. They capped that with granite. There's some of the limestone.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to skip.
Yeah.
Amazing. iPhoto's just so fantastic. So good.
Yeah. So here you can see the actual petrified wood itself. Just amazing. So of course, when we were here before, we're like, well, where did they get this?
Yeah, where did they
There
get all
must
this
be a source for the petrified wood somewhere, and sure enough, we find that there's a petrified forest nearby.
Okay.
So just a few more things here we'll show. I wanted to talk about this. So the petrified forest, we're walking around, and again, this was another sandstorm day, but look at these gigantic logs of petrified wood. I mean, these were massive trees, and there is hundreds of them. And they're generally aligned with each other. They kind of look like a log jam, right? It's also interesting because as you go along, you see most of them it's just the trunks. There's no root ball. They have been stripped of bark. There's some sections with some bark. Look at the sand pouring in. Oh my God.
It was brutal.
Yeah, they've been stripped of bark, no branches, which implies that they were knocked down and washed in some kind of cataclysmic event. Washed in here and then buried in sediment and then fossilized and then lithified. Yeah. The geology or the paleontology is basically that these are around, they're like middle Eocene, 40 million years old, I think. And they're also, what's really interesting is they are associated with, so first of all, this is the source for the petrified wood of the oldest road. They came out here and found these, and this is just the most extraordinary section. These are strewn throughout the desert in this area, and there's other places where you can kind of like, we're driving through the desert and you look up and you're like, oh, there's a 40-foot long ridge of dark stone. That's basically one of the logs.
Yeah.
But it's just been turned into gravel in most places, like the one on the right here. You can see this one over here is almost completely degraded, but some of them are in really good condition.
Look at them all. Oh my God.
Yeah, look at all of them. There's just hundreds of them here. But what I found really interesting is there are also some of these fossils there. This is a fossil of an ancient whale, a proto whale, basically, called Basilosaurus. They're basilisks. And they're really well preserved. So this guy was washed in with the logs and fossilized here along with these tree stumps. So some of you might know that there's an area nearby called the Valley of the Whales.
Somebody Expelliarmus that whale.
So we go to the Valley of the Whales. This place it's a UNESCO site, and it is one of the most extraordinary paleontological sites on the planet. It has the most concentrated number of extremely well-preserved large mammal and marine creatures.
Did you read the descriptions of what was going on?
What do you mean?
From the paleontologists that set up this site, or whoever set up the site? They died of natural causes.
Oh, yeah, that it was
just
all
living
slow.
here, and
Yeah.
they just like slowly died, and
Yeah.
you know, just occasionally over time, some would die, and then I'm just like, dude,
It doesn't work that way.
no, they would have been picked apart. They're
Yeah,
like,
they
what
would
are you
have
talking
rotted. The
about?
bones would have been scattered. No,
There's-
these guys were buried
There's
intact.
petrified. There's trees next to the
Yeah.
whale, next to the basilisk. They're all together. They're not, disarticulated. Is that what it's called?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, they're
There are fragmentary fossils everywhere here, but there are tons of almost
Entire,
complete with ribs and the fins and
large
everything.
and small. That's the other thing. It's
Yeah.
like all the different species are all in like the same sedimentary layers, like the big animals, the small animals.
Yes. Yeah. There's
The mangrove trees.
Mangrove tree
there's
roots.
Huge mangrove tree roots that are just, and then there's like a dead giant serpent there.
right.
And you're like, okay, so they just all slowly died.
Right. There's rays. There's
No, it was a cataclysm.
there's
It was
Sirenia.
It was an extinction level event for at least locally.
Yeah. Some kind of extinction. They may have gotten trapped here. This video is amazing.
Oh, okay, that's a possibility that they got pushed into the lake.
They were
then
trapped.
they're-
They
and then-
lived here for a while, but then eventually something else happened that buried them. Like they have to get buried.
I was thinking that, okay, so one thing that could happen is that, let's say you had massive volcanism,
Yeah.
hence the basalt at the top of the mountains in the
Yes.
distance.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you got this massive volcanism activity. It pours a bunch of stuff, sulfur and everything into the water.
Yeah.
It poisons the water. Everything dies. The mangrove trees, the animals, they all sink to the bottom. There's no
Yeah.
scavengers. The scavengers all died.
Could be.
And that's how you end up here.
But they still
Mystery
need
solved
they
next
still
mystery.
need to be they still need to be completely embedded.
Well, you got the ash that comes down.
Yes,
and
they
then-
need to be completely embedded in silica rich, for them to fossilize.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if something killed them all, like poisoned the water and everything died, and then over time you got ash falling in, and then materials like it causes rainstorms and all that kind of stuff, and mud flows in and buries them.
Yeah.
But if they had just died in the lake and the lake dried out, then the bones would just turn into dust.
Yeah.
Right. These
got
bones have been.
buried.
But look,
Well,
I want to show.
sandstone had to wear away to even.
Yes,
I mean, so it's like millions.
Yeah, so then there's all this millions of years of erosion afterwards. They were
But
covered in like many meters of material
But you
before
have
this
the
erosion
sand
started.
blow in.
Yeah,
So it dries up. They all die. It dries up. The sand blows in,
yeah,
turns to stone.
right.
Now it's being disintegrated back into sand and revealing the fossils.
And
It's
also,
just
if
crazy.
you look out here in the distance, there are these
layers.
dark layer that goes across the entire,
Black mat.
right here, it's missing. But yes, this layer is actually a kind of slate, which is basically sandstone with clay in it that then lithifies, right? So something else different happened here. You have a whole regime of deposition below that's different from whatever happened here, and then the stuff above it is different again. So all that stuff has to happen before the erosion process begins to happen, that then begins to reveal the fossils that are left in this material.
This was all just as an aside, making me think of the cycle of silica.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's crazy how it turns to stone, and then the stone erodes it into sands, and the sands blow up and make these giant dunes, and then they turn back into stone.
They glue themselves back together.
They turn back into stone, then more stuff happens. They slowly erode down back into sand, blow around, whatever. The water comes, breaks everything up, turns it to sand, and then the water dries up, it all turns to stone.
Some of it's like completely dissolved into the water, and then little creatures come along and eat those things and turn them into shells, and the shells fall down and become part. It's
the silica cycle is quite interesting, actually.
But this video, I want to show, like, this part is amazing to me. So
oh my God,
here,
that's so cool.
Those are the imprints of the teeth of this basilisk. And we were making jokes that, like, this thing was so serious that its teeth have teeth. Those aren't serrations. Those are teeth growing on the teeth. It would have been a terrifying thing to see
It
alive.
poisoned the rock, like the rock died.
And then here's the rest of its skeleton. You can see the ribs, and then this massively long backbone all the way down. Just absolutely amazing. So
hey, dude, you're behind the ropes.
No. See, look, I'm on the right side of the rope.
Okay.
I did not cross the rope on this.
Dang, look at that.
Yeah, so you can see it. It's definitely a freaking sea serpent.
I would like to catch one of those.
And the head is embedded in that outcrop right up there.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if the skull or the head or something about it actually caused that much harder chunk of rock. Because the skull is enclosed, and then it would get more silica concentrated in there.
Here's another one that's amazing. So there's some chunks of vertebrae right there, but then look, more vertebrae sort of bundled together, and then there's a long line of them that just curve around this entire...
it's like the presence of the body of this thing caused the hardness.
Made it harder, kept it preserved there.
Dude. This is what I'm saying about, like, flint nodules are the same. I see
parts of the head right there.
So cool.
Just amazing.
I was dying this day. I mean, it was just... Oh, this is on the way out. This is on the way back, I think, maybe from...
But the point, let me go back to this real quick. Right here. This one is, again, in the petrified forest. So the people who made the oldest road were pulling ancient stone trees out of the ground in a place where there were giant stone serpent bones. They must have seen these.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that, you know, we've talked a lot on here that I think that the standard model doesn't give our ancestors enough credit, but they must have wondered. You know,
sure.
They're like, and then think of what they're doing. They're mining basalt, supposedly to build the pavements in front of these gigantic monuments that they are building for some reason. And one of the tools that they're using in the entire process is remnants from an ancient lost world.
Yeah.
The trees that are amidst these bones. And I'm just like, I would have loved to know what they thought of this.
Just want to talk to one
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
one snake bro from back then. Just
Yeah.
like, dude, what do you think, man?
Yeah. So that's just what I wanted to point out, that they must have seen these bones, because whether or not they ever got to the Valley of the Whales, I don't know.
Of course.
They may have. It is
How did they find the basalt? I mean,
I don't
they
know.
explored all of this stuff.
Yeah. They
They've
knew
been
where
everywhere.
the basalt, but again, like you were pointing at, Kyle, when we were looking at the map earlier, Kyle pointed out that you can kind of follow that basalt ridge almost all the way to Giza, and it is in the Giza Protectorate. So they could have come down a little south from where they were building the pyramids, and we're like, we need some of this blackstone, but we need a good source, and they're just kind of following it along until they find a good place to mine it, to quarry it.
Yep.
But they, in the course of building, and then they're like, well, how are we going to get it up there? Well, if we can get it down out of the desert to the Faiyum Lake, then we can get it into the Nile, and we can bring
And
it
if
up.
we're talking about 8,000 years ago, it would have been totally different.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been more of the what's the Ben was talking about this the Sahara
The African humid period, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just do this last one. This is the descent. So in the maps that we were looking at before, where I was saying it dropping down pretty steeply, we're looking for the road here. We're in the Jeep, and we had just come off this cliff level, and there it is in the distance. There's like some mounds out there in the distance.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pointing
bits
at
of the
them.
road.
This is bits of the road coming down, and then we lose it again down lower. But it's quite a steep descent, and we're like, man, we have to be so far from the water, because when you look out of the front of the Jeep, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's sky.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we can't be.
We're way above the water
We're
level
way
here.
above the water. We got to keep going down. It was just what a wild day this was with all the wind and everything.
Yeah, the sandstorm days were.
Look at it. I mean, it's just it's so hazy out there. But here we are dropping off another one of these.
Yeah, this is not really a cliff. It's just sort of dropping down levels of the sediment.
Yeah. But yeah, that's quite a massive elevation change from the beginning. I mean, and
Yeah.
up there on the top is where the long portions of the road are still preserved.
Right.
And we're coming down here and we're like, okay, there is a pass. Like maybe we're actually on the road. The road may be underneath this road,
Yeah.
because we tend to take the same places. So here's the checkpoint we're coming up on. And I'm not in the front, so I'm not looking out at where the basalt. But look at how
Yeah.
these are cliffs.
Yeah, they're cliffs.
Who knows what they would have looked
So
like.
now we're dropping down into the lake level.
We're not quite there yet. It's after we get past this checkpoint.
Right. But you can see it's flat basically out there. Like it's still dropping down, but much slower. So yeah, there's something here. We have plans for when we return to do more exploring. Like we said, we need to get up to the quarry face of the basalt itself. It's been hinted that there may be saw cuts or something up there. We need to find it. And then we also wanted to find the beginning and the ending of the road itself. So, and maybe look for if there's a pier. So yeah, that's our Egypt recap there, guys.
Yeah.
Those are the things we're working on.
Yep. October supposedly much better weather. Like the sandstorms are always in March.
Yeah.
We had rain multiple times when
It
we were
rained
there.
on us out in the desert. That was an epic, like sandstorms and rain on the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious because the Bedouin guy who was driving for us, it starts raining, and he's like,
He doesn't know where the wind should
and then he finally turns it on, and they're like, and he starts laughing too, like, when was the last time you had to use those, bro?
One more thing before we go. I got to share the disaster map.
Oh, yeah.
So Darren Grimes built this thing called Disaster Map. Do I have it here? Yeah, it's right here. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, so like I said before, roughly 12 to 18 meters above sea level when the Lake Faiyum was there was during the early Holocene between 8,500 and 7,000 years before present.
Yeah.
This is pre-pottery Neolithic B, by the way. Roughly. Yeah. 6,500 BC is like the end of pre-pottery Neolithic B. Dude.
Yeah.
So the artifacts we were finding at the edge of the lake level when the guy pulled over and he's like, I mean, it could have been.
Yeah.
Dude,
It was marked by heavy monsoon rainfall in Ethiopia, causing high Nile floods that sustained the high lake level.
Amazing. There's something here, folks.
And then there's 10th millennium BP, initial high lake stage.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. But check out this disaster map.
This is a great tool.
Dude. You guys got to, I mean, Darren's doing all kinds of stuff. He's like,
disastermap.ca. Check it out.
So here I've set the flood, the scenario mode, flood, or you could do impacts. You could do climate change, nukes, volcanoes, mega tsunamis, storm surges, earthquakes, cataclysm, pole shift, inundation models. So right now I have it on sea level and I've added 12 meters. I did 12 because on this map it's showing the Faiyum quite high. When I go back,
we'll put it at 0 first. Let's start with 0.
Why? Everybody knows what has with 0.
So this is the modern level of the lake.
And there's Qasr el-Saga. That's the temple we were talking about. Megalithic temple up here. And you can see the ridge line barely noted there. So then I was just trying to find when was the lake or what level was the lake when it's right below Qasr el-Saga, and we kind of landed on
12-ish.
There's Qasr el-Saga on 12. Execute flood. Okay, there's Qasr el-Saga.
Just above it.
There's a nice little muddy island right there. But when you look at the papers again, or you know the not the papers, but the
now go look at Florida. What does Florida look
data
like with 12 meters?
Look at the delta.
Yeah, the delta's
is
gone. It's underwater.
Let's see what Giza looks like. Where's Giza?
Yeah, right there next to Cairo, yeah.
Okay, Giza's all good. No flooding, people.
Oh, but look,
there's the other channel? Is that the other channel?
Other channels of the Nile, yeah.
That's cool. All right.
You can see that. Oh. Uh-oh, he lost it.
Where is it? Okay.
Yeah. You can see that the coastlines are eaten up here. A lot of Florida is just gone.
Yeah.
And
this is cool. So let's go. He's got some quick ones
some presets,
here.
yeah.
Let's say Ice Age.
So you would have a lot of land.
This is during the Ice Age. I guess the last glacial maximum he's considering. Oh, look, there's the ice sheets. Ooh. Very cool.
Yeah. And of course, for some reason, Alaska. Yeah.
Look at Beringia.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, this is such an awesome tool.
It is a great tool.
Okay, here we go. It's the same? No, there's extra land. Okay, so
yeah.
Damn. Look at that.
I think the gray area is the extra land, right? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the one in India? Oh wow, look, the Red Sea is. Oh, the Red Sea's there. What's
the Red Sea?
One?
Yeah, the
this is
the Gulf of
Suez.
Suez, yeah. Gone.
Is this what was the Sunderland or whatever?
Sunderland?
Is that what that is?
Is that where it is? I don't know.
This massive area?
Zoom out some. No, there it is. Sunda Shelf.
There it is.
Yeah, Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Woo!
Damn,
That's a lot of land.
So he said that he's incorporated all this bathymetry data and everything. Like it's as accurate as he can get it. I think this is really cool.
It is
Such a cool tool. Should we just blow something up?
Let's see what it's like with all the ice melted. 70
All
plus
ice
70
melted.
meters.
Execute flood.
Man.
Look at the Sinai. Uh-oh.
What?
It went away. It looked like there was a lot of water.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's just pixelation.
There's some
I guess.
errors, yeah.
There's the Faiyum, fully flooded. Let's see what our old.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that's crazy. The Mississippi Valley is
Wow.
just gone. All the way up to Jonesboro.
That's cool.
Texas is fine. Houston is gone.
Yeah.
LA is gone. I think LA is underwater. Corpus Christi is gone.
Yep.
LA might be right on the edge. It's okay. A lot of it is gone. Yeah.
Yeah. This is cool.
That's a great tool.
Disastermap.ca, folks.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We're done. We're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah.
That's your Egypt update.
So
And,
when we get time, we'll be putting together some videos on this stuff. I don't know when that's going to happen. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But we do.
I got videos in the works now. So
Good. We got to get
there'll be
back.
some short ones coming out, and there's one. I'll just mention real quick. One that's been in the works for a while is basically a more produced version of the Unfinished. I know all of you have seen Unfinished like 4 times now. We've done
Yeah,
it.
but we're going to redo all of that stuff. With
So I
proper
sat down
production.
and did the entire presentation with the camera setups, and then Elisa is going through and making, it's basically she's producing the whole thing. It's going to be about an hour long. It should be good.
Sweet.
And we're going to do that with the other presentations as well. Kyle's, my
I have a massive update on the pyramids one since we did this
and I'm
last
gonna-
trip.
One on the flood stories. So, but then I have a bunch of other shorter videos I've got in the works that should be coming out. We're gonna have ones on the Serapeum and the Great Pyramid stuff. I want to do. I mean, I don't know how much I should say. I want to do history of discovery for each of the major pyramids on the Giza Plateau.
Oh, that's cool.
Just like here's everything we know from the beginning of archaeology at this site.
Very
Plus, basically starting with let's go with the historical accounts that are, it's not science, but here's what people have been saying about it, working all the way up to modern times and just for each pyramid separately. And then there'll be some videos, shorter videos on stuff that we've noticed on the interior, The hardest thing for me on some of this is I want graphics. I want to draw to show you guys what I'm talking about. And it's tough I'm having to figure out. I'm basically making the drawings and something, and then animating them, and then recording that, and then putting it in the video. It's a pain in the ass, but it's gonna be good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not doing shit. I'm working on the album still. I'm gonna.
Kyle's doing a lot of stuff. What's happened is I am now a consultant for the winery, which means that I can focus my time on podcast stuff and making videos, and I just get called in to work when needed rather than being there every day 9 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
So Kyle is basically in charge of telling me when I have to go back to real work. But other than
Contract labor.
contract labor. But other than that, I'm at home and I'm focusing on making videos for the YouTube channel and also podcast content. So I've just started that since coming back from Egypt. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, should be good.
Major steps.
Huge step. Yeah, basically, it's the show donations that are now paying my salary. So help me out, guys.
Help us out. Join the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, join the Patreon. Join the Discord. The new website. You can find the Discord on the new website. Join it. There's people there to talk about all this kind of stuff. I'm in there. Kyle is never in there.
I only show up to create chaos.
If you ping him in there, if you
Oh, yeah, I'll
tag him, then 3 months later he'll remember what you said and get really pissed off and come in there and write a gigantic
If I
post
get
about
tagged, I will click on it. And then it'll take me to some place that wasn't what you said. And I
right.
will read something someone else said, and I will go on a tirade. Yeah, dude, I'm terrible at this stuff, so, whatever. Just call me. I'm working on the album. I did release the draft versions all on the Patreon, so join up if you want to hear those. And I was working on the percussion today. Russ has got to do some Mexican trumpet for one of the songs. I got a few things. I got a punch list. It's all written down. Everything I need to do on the final little tracks, and it's mostly percussion. And I just, it's like weekends, and we'll see how long it takes. But met the lead guitarist of Little River Band on the last tour.
Oh yeah,
David Briggs, awesome dude, and he's a producer in Australia, and we talked shop. So I got my mastering engineer.
There you go.
Which is really cool. So
we got to jam with him. I will at the end of this video and the audio, I'll put in a little bit of the of us jamming with him on
the Little Nile River Band.
The Little Nile River Band. I'll put in a little bit of the video on the of us jamming on the boat, and then if you check the Patreon, I'll upload some of the individual songs we're jamming. It was Yusuf, Kyle, me, Ben, and David. It was awesome. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, folks.
Yeah. We love
Cheers.
ya.
Always have.
Always will.
Good night, Adamu.
Get back to work.
By the